Okay, imagine this. You've spent like a whole hour carefully moving your little miniature musketeer, let's call him Jean-Luc, across this treacherous landscape of sugar cubes you've set up.
A vital barricade, no doubt.
Absolutely. Victory is so close, you're about to take the winning shot at the enemy's, I don't know, porcelain poodle or something, and bam, your kid runs in, sicky cup flying, and suddenly, Jean-Luc's doing the backstroke in apple juice.
Ah, the classic tabletop tragedy. It really sums up the glorious chaos of miniature gaming, doesn't it? That mix of grand strategy and, well, life happening.
Totally. And that blend of, swashbuckling action and potential disaster is kind of what we're diving into today.
Right. Prompted by a listener, we're looking at a specific game, Anno Domini 1666.
Yeah, this one takes all that miniature fun and sets it in this alternative 17th century Vienna. Sounds pretty cool.
It really is. Basically, you've got two players controlling these bands of characters. Could be heroes, could be rogues, all on secret missions.
And these missions, based on the rulebook, which is our main source here, they're not always just about, beating up the other team.
Exactly. Often it's about sneaking around, finding things, specific scenario goals. Outwitting your opponent is key, not just outfighting them.
So fighting might not even be the main point sometimes.
Often, yeah. Strategic maneuvering and hitting those objectives, that's usually the path to victory.
Okay, cool. So our mission today is basically to walk through how a typical round plays out, get a feel for the main mechanics, maybe some basic strategy tips.
That's the plan. We want to give a clear picture without getting totally bogged down in every single tiny rule. Sort of a fun, useful overview.
All right, let's do it. How does a typical turn or round actually flow in this game? You mentioned phases.
Yeah, it's broken down pretty neatly. There's a sequence. Start of the turn, card phase, initiative phase, action phase, combat phase, morale phase, interaction phase, and finally end of turn.
Whoa, okay, quite a few steps. Let's start at the start then. Start of the turn phase. What happens there?
It's mostly a quick refresh. Any skills that say once per turn get reset, and fencing tokens, characters who weren't fighting get all theirs back. Characters who were engaged get one back.
Fencing tokens. We'll probably come back to those. Sounds interesting.
We will, yeah. They're important for combat.
Yeah.
But yeah, start of turn is just that quick prep.
Okay. Next is the card phase. Now, you hinted this game uses cards instead of dice. That sounds like a big deal.
It is. It's really core to the game feel. In the card phase, you draw cards. How many depends on the scenario, but you have a hand limit of 7.
So you might have to discard if you draw too many.
Right. And discarding certain cards, like an 8 or a joker, can sometimes make you reshuffle your deck later. Adds a little wrinkle.
Okay. Cards in hand. Then comes the initiative phase. Guessing this is about who goes first.
Exactly. Super important. Both players choose a card, either from their hand or just flip the top one from their deck. Secretly, yeah. Then you reveal. Highest card wins initiative. They get to decide who acts first in the action. And combat phases this turn. A and D, they get initiative for the start of the next turn.
Oh, wow. So winning initiative is a pretty big advantage. What if it's a tie?
You just replay it.
Yeah.
But there's a twist. If you played from your hand the first time, you must play from your deck the second time, and vice versa.
Ah, nice little mind game there. Okay. Initiative decided. Now the action phase. This is where the minis start moving and doing stuff, right?
This is the main part, yeah.
Yeah.
Players take turns activating one character at a time. When you activate a character, they can do 1 full action or 2 partial actions.
Full or partial. Okay.
And you rotate the character's card, so you know they've gone. The player with initiative decides who activates the very first character.
So they get the first move.
Usually. But there's a neat rule. If you have fewer models than your opponent, you can choose to hold back your last activation until they've activated all of theirs.
Ah, okay, that's a good balancing mechanic. Stops you getting totally overwhelmed if you're outnumbered.
Precisely. So people are moving, maybe shooting. Then comes the combat phase.
Right, time for the swords and pistol.
Well, specifically the close combat. Any character is right next to an enemy. This is where they fight. First, you turn all the character cards back upright from the action phase.
Okay, reset.
Then players alternate activating their engaged characters. The player who had initiative gets the first activation in combat too. After a character fights, you rotate their card again.
Gotcha. So dedicated phase just for the close-up fighting. Makes sense.
Yeah.
What's next? Morale phase. Sounds ominous.
It can be, yeah. This is mainly for the commoner type characters if they've taken damage and become crippled.
Yeah.
They have to make a fortitude test.
A test using the cards.
Yep. Difficulty level 5, but they get a -1 penalty because they're hurt. If they fail, they run away.
Yeah.
Off the board, considered killed for this scenario.
Ouch. losing troops because they lost their nerve. Who decides the order they test in?
The player with initiative decides which character makes their check first.
Initiative again. Really powerful. Okay, after potential fleeing, we have the interaction phase. What's that about? Talking.
Kinda, yeah. Turn all the cards upright again. This phase is for characters using special interaction skills, or maybe trying to recruit NPCs if they're standing next to them.
NPCs, non-player characters.
Right, so players alternate activating characters who can do these things. Initiative winner goes first, naturally. This is often where you use skills that involve, well, talking or influencing others.
So less fighting, more scheming, persuading.
Could be. Or maybe intimidating. And interestingly, if someone uses an interaction skill on your character doesn't usually get an immediate reaction, like in combat.
Okay, finally, end of turn. Just tidying up.
Pretty much. Turn all the character cards upright one last time. If you're using the alarm track, we should talk about that. You discard one counter. Reshuffle some special decks like magic or events if they were used. Then loop back to start of the turn.
Phew. Okay, that's the whole cycle. It sounds involved, but logical. Now let's dig into some of those mechanics. The card play instead of dice seems huge.
It really defines the game's feel. You have your own deck, 30 cards, numbered 2 through 8 in 4 suits, plus a red and a black joker. When you need to make a test, like shooting, dodging, anything with a chance of failure, you play a card.
From your hand or the deck?
Depends on the test type, but it means you have some control, or at least knowledge. You know what cards are left in your deck, roughly. It's not pure random chance like a die roll. Add strategy.
Right, you can manage your deck, maybe hold back good cards. Now, you mentioned unopposed and opposed tests.
Yeah. Unopposed is when you're testing against a fixed difficulty, the DL, like shooting at someone far away or climbing a wall. You flip a card from your deck, add your skill, maybe with some modifiers, and see if you beat the DL.
Simple enough. Can you boost it?
You can. That's called reinforcing. You can choose to play extra cards from your hand after the initial deck flip to increase your total if you really need to succeed.
Ah, okay. Spending resources from your hand. What about opposed tests? That sounds like player versus player.
Exactly. Most common in close combat, but other situations too. Both players involved play a card simultaneously, could be from hand, could be from deck.
How do you decide hand or deck?
The rules for the specific situation usually tell you, or sometimes it's a choice. Then you both add skills and modifiers. And then, crucially, you can reinforce.
Both players?
Yep. You go back and forth, playing extra cards from your hand to boost your total, trying to outdo the other person until you both decide to stop.
Like a bidding war with cards?
Kind of.
Yeah.
And the jokers are wild here. Black jokers value 0, but your opponent chooses the suit. Red jokers value 10, and you choose the suit. Add some real bluff and prediction.
Nasty. Okay, card play sounds really interactive. What about the actual actions? You said full actions and partial actions.
Right, a full action uses your whole activation. Examples.
Right.
Aim shot, a better chance to hit.
Huh.
Full move lets you move up to 4 movement points.
4 points. How far is a point?
Usually crossing one border into an adjacent space is 1 point. But we'll get to movement details. Another full action is Overwatch.
Overwatch, like setting a trap.
Sort of. You ready a character to potentially interrupt an enemy's action later in the turn if they move into line of sight or something? Very tactical. There's also defensive shot, a reaction if you get charged.
Cool. And partial actions, you get 2 of those.
Up to 2, yeah. These are quicker things. Quick shot, less accurate maybe. Partial move, which gives fewer movement points, only 1 point if you're ailing, like wounded. Stand up if you were knocked down.
So you could, like, stand up and take a quick shot.
Exactly. Or move a bit and then shoot. Mix and match.
Okay, now movement. You said 4 points for a full move. How does that work with the board? Terrain.
Right, it's not just counting squares. Moving into an adjacent open space costs 1 point. Diagonal moves are possible if your agility is high enough, costing 1 point per diagonal space up to your agility rating.
Ah, so agile characters move better diagonally.
Yep. And borders matter. A low wall might cost 2 points to cross. Going through a door or window isn't just movement, it's a maneuver.
A what now?
Maneuver. Things like opening doors, climbing ladders, leaping gaps. They cost movement points and might require an agility test. So the environment really shapes how you move.
So you can't just charge straight everywhere. You need to plan your route. What about zones of control? Do models block movement?
They do. Characters project the zone of control into adjacent spaces. Entering an enemy's ZOC can cost extra movement, and leaving it can be dangerous, sometimes provoking a free attack. It's key for controlling space.
Okay, positioning is huge then. Let's talk combat. Ranged first, muskets and pistols. How does shooting work?
Okay, first your gun needs to be loaded, some actions reload it.
Right.
Then you need line of sight within range. Then you make a shooting test that's an unopposed test against a DL based on range, cover, etc.
Using your shooting skill and a card flip.
Right. If you succeed, you hit. The suit of the card you played determines the hit location, head, torso, arm, leg. That affects damage.
Suit determines location. Interesting.
Yeah. Then you look at weapon damage, maybe add a bonus if you got a really high card number, a triumph, and the target subtracts their armor value for that location.
Okay. What if you miss?
Shot wasted. Weapon probably needs reloading. And watch out for misfortunes rolling really low when shooting at someone who's already in melee with your friend. You might hit your friend instead.
Friendly fire. Love it. Okay, what about the messy stuff? Close combat. That's in its own phase, right?
In the combat phase, yeah. Any characters adjacent to enemies are engaged. Players alternate activating one engaged character. You usually make an opposed test using your combat skill.
Opposed, so cards reinforcing the whole deal.
The whole deal. Modifiers apply to weapon type matters, weapon superiority, having friends nearby helping, support bonuses, especially if they're opposite the enemy. Being crippled or prone hurts you.
And those fencing tokens you mentioned.
Yes. You can spend fencing tokens before you play your card to get a bonus on your combat total. Very useful.
So you manage those tokens turn to turn. What happens after the opposed test?
Highest total wins. Damage is usually the difference between the totals, modified by weapon damage and hit location, minus armor again.
And the loser?
The loser generally has to retreat one space away, if possible. If it's a tie, both might have to retreat.
Can you defend?
Right.
Like block or parry?
Yes. If you lose the opposed test, but still have unused fencing tokens, you could attempt a parry. That's an unopposed test, DL6. You can spend multiple tokens to lower the DL. If you succeed, you avoid the hit. And you might even get a riposte to free counterattack.
Whoa. Okay, close combat sounds really dynamic with the tokens and parries. Very cool. One more thing from the phases, the alarm track. What's that for?
Right, the alarm track. It's basically a timer or a measure of how much attention you're attracting. Used in many scenarios. It starts with a certain number of counters.
And they go down?
Yep. Firing a gun might remove one. A character getting killed or fleeing removes one. One gets removed automatically at the end of turn. When it hits 0, game over immediately.
So you're racing against the clock or trying not to make too much noise?
Exactly. It adds pressure and forces you to be efficient.
Man, okay, we've covered a lot. The turn structure, cards, actions, combat, alarm. Pulling it together, what are the key strategies someone should think about? Keep it punchy.
Okay, punchy. 1. Action economy. Make every action count full versus partial. 2. Initiative. Getting it is huge lets you control the tempo.
Right. Act first in both action and combat.
3. Positioning in zones of control. Use the terrain, block enemies, protect your guys. 4. Card management. Know when to play high, when to save cards for reinforcing.
Don't waste your good cards.
Exactly. 5. Use your strengths. Know your character skills. Use their items effectively. And finally, 6. Scenario objectives. Don't forget why you're there. It's often not just about killing everyone.
Always play the objective. Got it. That's a great summary. It sounds like Anno Domini 1666 really packs a punch. Way more than just rolling dice.
Oh, absolutely. The card system, the tactical movement, the different actions, it creates a really engaging puzzle with lots of narrative potential too.
And you're saying there's even more? Special skills, items?
Loads more. We've really just scratched the surface. Different scenarios add unique rules. Characters have all sorts of unique abilities. It's got a lot of depth.
Well, hopefully this deep dive has whetted the appetite for our listener and anyone else curious about it. Sounds like it's worth checking out. Maybe watch some videos, find the rules online.
Or just grab some friends and give it a go. Be prepared for those Jean-Luc moments, though. The best plans can go sideways in hilarious ways.
That's half the fun, right? So, final thought to leave people with. What's the absolute funniest way a super secret, perfectly planned infiltration in this game could just completely fall apart?
Maybe tripping over a sleeping cat during a supposedly silent entry. Or trying to bribe a guard with counterfeit currency that dissolves in the rain.
Something wonderfully mundane ruining everything. Love it. Well, that's definitely something to ponder. Thanks for walking us through the intriguing world of Anno Domini 1666.
My pleasure. Always fun to talk tactics and tiny figures.
Shadows creep lords and nobles chance to meet. The emperor's gone, the throne stands bare. Who will rise and claim it there? From Paris to Krakow, they whisper and scheme. A dance of daggers, a dangerous dream. The muskets are loaded, the cards have been played. A kingdom's fate in the balance sway. 1666, steel clashes in the night. Through the alleys, through the fight, no surrender, no respite. 1666, a game of shadows, blades and tricks. Honor, treachery, politics. Who will rule when fate is fixed? Mercenaries sell their steel, while devils whisper secret deals. A pact of blood, a cross that's broken, wicked spells in hushed words spoken. The noble courts may cast their votes, but true power wears no coats. It lurks within the midnight fray, where heroes fight and villains play. 1666, steel clashes in the night. Through the alleys, through the fight, no surrender, no respite. 1666, a game of shadows, blades and tricks. Honor, treachery, politics. Who will rule when fate is fixed? Fight with sword and honor, or strike from shadows, a silent goner. Fencing masters, pistol fire, all for gold and dark desire. Pray to God or make a pact. The wheel turns, there's no way back. Vienna streets run red with hate. Will you stand or be too late? 1666, blades and tricks. Who